Good evening. I know there's not many of us here, and Ellen's not here, but we're going to start. All right. So I'm calling the meeting to order. So that's 1.1. 2.1, agenda items. Are there any additional items for consideration? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as submitted or amended?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda, items 3.1. That's it. No. That's it. So a motion to take from the table as recommended by the superintendent.
And that's all future effects.
So we need a motion to bring this from the table.
I'm sorry.
Move that we untable it.
Second. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the managerial confidential, employee, something, of all future employees' fringe benefits package for the 20-day vacation as recommended by the superintendent?
So moved.
Discussion?
I'm just happy what, because I'm looking at this as a number showing the same, so.
To approve. Okay, we're missing one.
I would use the word contract after confidential, see if that makes sense. Motion to approve individual confidential contracts for future employees' packages.
That makes
The
sense.
road vacation. Gotcha. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna make sure that it says confidential contracts. The word is missing. All those in favor?
Aye.
I guess we can.
I don't know, just say, okay, the rest of this family.
We are at the participation portion. So I invite anybody here to come to the front and use the microphone. Please try to limit comments to 3 minutes. All right. Nobody's standing, so we're going to move along. Item 5.1. Can I have a motion to approve the following resignation of Lindsay Cross?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? May I have a motion to approve the following appointments for Robette Schubert? I was trying to make it one word. Jennifer Brooks, Ann Farnsworth, Allison McCorkle, and the mentors of Peter Massey, Pat Rowland, and Sharon Follett, Vicki Moakes, Zach Darrow, Gina Torrey, and Susie Peach.
Second.
All those in favor? We are at 5.2, superintendent search update. The update is the letter has been sent to the newspaper. No, not the newspaper because we missed the deadline. It is out on the website. It's been to the banks and the library, and
The newsletter got mailed today.
okay, and it's in the newsletter. So it will go to all district residents in the newsletter as that mailing instead of 2 separate mailings. So not just parents, but parents will receive it, but it will be, that letter will be there as well.
Goes to businesses as well.
When you say in,
The letter that, or,
asking for participation.
yes, yeah,
For community participation, the parents will reach out in a different way.
through the PTO. So that will reach all areas of the district, so we feel like
That's great.
by the weekend, everybody will see that. The other item for the superintendent search update is Jackie would like us to remove the superintendent search from the middle of our meetings and put it at either the front or the end of the next meeting on September 11th. In doing so, we would have to publicize a time for that. So do we want it at 5:30 for an hour and start the meeting at 6:30? Or do we want to start our meeting at 6 and start the superintendent search process after the meeting?
I'd be in favor of 5:30 start.
I agree.
So we can all do 5:30. So the superintendent portion of the search portion of our meeting will be at 5:30 with Jackie. And our meeting itself will start at 6:30. She says she needs 1 hour. So we will make that change. And after that point, we will be ready to have Chris help us with our little website plan that we are going to go with once we get the dates from Jackie and have something to go. So we'll have information to add with that when that happens.
Just for clarification's sake, the super Jackie portion is public.
It is public, yep.
The website is, our website to update the one.
Correct. So it's the blog with no comment, but allowing us to put statements up after each meeting to keep a running tally of what's been going on and when and how. But without the dates, we feel like it doesn't make sense to put it up yet. Ellen and I have a 1-sentence line from each of the meetings that we've had so far, so that when we go, we can put those up with them. All right, so we are on to 5.3. I need a recommended action to take from the table from the reorganizational July 9th meeting as recommended by the superintendent. Taking the superintendent or the substitute compensation from the table.
Second.
Now I need a motion to approve the substitute compensation as it stands.
So
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to express appreciation for the research that went into to see that we're competitive with our neighbors.
I appreciate the opportunity to go back and do that. We had to consider it, so thank you.
All those in favor? Item 5.4, interim superintendent of schools employment agreement. I need a motion to approve the resolution to revise the employment agreement with the interim superintendent.
Second.
I think there's discussion because.
May I speak? What the revision is to, the board has been very gracious to me, and we've worked a 4-day-a-week work schedule. Sometimes 4 days a week doesn't work. We need the 5th day. Sometimes 8 out of 10 days don't quite work. We need the 10 days. So what the revision is, it puts out an 80% full-time equivalent over the course of the agreement. So I have a little more flexibility with the schedule of the work all next week. I appreciate it. All right, we haven't done it yet. I appreciate your consideration.
Well, on that topic, all those in favor?
Aye.
Now, thank you for.
We are on 6.1, the superintendent's update.
Oh, 7, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm going to thank you, Michelle. Let me say a couple of things publicly. We had some comments that were made at the last board meeting, and the big one that I wanted to get back to the board on was using the Director of Pupil Personnel Services and Special Education for that work, and to have the discipline and interaction with students to stay with the principals. That's my desire, and I'll tell you why. the relationships with parents and students and friends and what goes on in the school, I think is best served by the principal. I think the principal knows those 6 to 12 students, the families, the histories, and I think the pre-K-5 principal knows those kids and those families. And I would like whatever discipline interaction to stay with the principals. I hate to see one administrator responsible for that. And I don't think it is. As far as having a full-time director of pupil personnel services, I know we're a small school district. I also am finding out the workload in that office, the CSE meetings, the evaluations of staff, the hiring of staff, the assigning of staff, the one-to-one aides, the 504 plans, the workload is heavy. The state reporting requirements for special services, for migrant education, for ELL, English language speakers of other language, it's called ESL, changing. So I'd like to stay the course, continue with our interim, and at some point, go back and maybe look at the file or reopen it. I'm still reluctant to look for full-time, because I would really like the next superintendent to hire staff, make the team, if you will. So I'm reluctant to be the one to recommend a replacement for Jeff. If we go too far too long, we're going to keep it on. The other 2 items, the one about transporting children for practices, I really looked into it. Met with the Morrisville people, met with people here in Sauk. We have, I want to say, 5 or 6 drivers for after school. They come back from their runs. They come back from their runs and turn right around, and we're doing athletic events, we're doing the after-school runs because of clubs and so on. And we don't have the resources to transport the children to practice if they're somewhere else. Also, it's not just the soccer, varsity soccer. I think we would have to take into consideration the football team that was getting there, the field hockey, we have some ice hockey kids in the winter, and I think there's some others in the spring. So right now, we don't have the resources, so I want to report that back. The other point that was made the last time was that we were out recruiting for part-time positions, and I'm aware of like 3 of them over the last couple of years. Point well taken. It is difficult to find fully certified, fully qualified teachers part-time. It is. Full-time is the ideal. We are looking at and trying to do it in an orderly way, declining enrollment, the breadth of what we offer in the district, art, FFA, music, Latin, French, Spanish. It spreads our kids out. We have a lot of choices for kids, and the district has been wonderful supporting that kind of curriculum. When kids take music, maybe they don't take art. When they take art, they're not FFA. If they're FFA, they're not Latin. So it's very tricky for scheduling. So we're keeping an eye on things, and we have had some part-time positions where we've had to restructure. So I want to make a public report. Down the road, I'd like to say this publicly. If it's someone in the community that has been to Bill, this is about me, not if there's someone in the community who's been to Bill on a matter, whether it's athletic director, or been to our transportation supervisor, or been to our board clerk for something, and they're not satisfied, I would like them to come to me first before coming to the board. Because what happens is, when we get these things out first in the public to the board, the superintendent winds up going back and looking into the matter anyway. So I just want to say that I'm going to try to encourage more and more our principals and so on to get them to me before people come here. But certainly, every person who has spoken so far since I've been in this district has had a right to and has expressed themselves very well. I would like to have a crack at it first. So, my speech is over. Okay, thank you. That's my report. Unless there's something else you would like to know that I should be telling you that I don't remember I should be telling you. No, okay, it seemed to be okay. Thank you very much.
So now we're on 6.2 for informational purposes, the capital construction project update.
Okay. Mr. Crum had a prior engagement. Peter Joseph Patrick will do the first sheet. Mr. Delson said he'll do all the financials, so.
Sure.
I'm kidding. Let me take you through this and see if we got it what was raised the last time, okay? All right. So what I've passed out is a memo to the Board of Education that kind of lays out what we're talking about first before we look at the financing of the project. So the outline of kind of the timetable, and I'm going to go backwards, so I'm starting with the end and I'm coming back till now. We're looking at a $15.3 million project that's going to take 3 years, all right? In order to do what we're proposing to do over those 3 years, we're going to ask for a public vote somewhere around December 18th. In order to have that public vote December 18th, we will be recommending to the Board of Education that it votes at the October 11th meeting, because we have to vote on a seeker resolution, SCQR, and the public vote resolution. So we have to get ready for December by approving this in October. In order for you to approve it, we're going to come September 11th again with a full financial, full scope of work presentation. We're going to ask King and King to come back, and of course Matt will be here. Okay? Tonight, I would like to give you an update. So part of the update is that outline. Here's the other part, in generalities. Phase 1 would be the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning replacement systems. That really is conversion to natural gas. It's getting rid of oil tanks and steam and boilers and whatever. And the partial roof replacement. Now we don't know, you can see that's a $7.5 million thought. Problem, out of that $7.5 million come your architect's fees, your financial people's fees, your attorney's fees, and so you don't have $7.5 million for construction. There's something less than that. Well, what we'll do is we'll also put out some alternative bids, but I don't know what they are now. In other words, your main bid will be the roof, the HVAC, roof replacement, and then we might bid something, I'm going to make this up, like carpeting in these 8 classrooms or rubberized stairwells. If the main bid comes in under what we have, then you can award alternative bids. So that's what's meant by that. Okay. In the second phase, we would complete the roof replacement and put out alternative bids for our kitchen, plumbing, and electrical. Don't know how those bids are going to come in to finish the roof. But if they come in under the $5.5 million, less expenses, if they come in, then maybe we can start with the kitchen plumbing, all right? Phase 3, we are going to bid, if the alternative bids aren't available to us, we are going to bid kitchen, plumbing, electric. And we believe that is going to cost about $2.3 million. However, we would then look ahead and try to do alternative bids for any interior work or any site work, paving and so on. Effectively, this plan does what we were initially proposing over, let's say this right, that we were initially proposing to do in 2 phases over 3. Because the money is $2 million less in phase 2. Okay, so just so you know, we're working at this. And you can see those completion dates. I mean, even just to get the HVAC and the roof started, that completion is September 20. To finish the roof is September 21. And we were leaking this morning. It is a challenge. We had those heavy rains last night, and then the water started. And we didn't have kids there, we're lucky, but it's disruptive. We know that, so I'm not trying to oversell that. I I just am trying to recommend that we take it. The further capital projects, minimum 15 million down the road, will take another vote in 3 years. But I think it'll get the community on a 2-3 year process. As long as we stay within the state at 5-year window, it all becomes aided. But we're looking at another vote and another 15 million down the road to deal with the lockers, locker rooms, classroom improvements, bus garage, parking drop-off, and so on. So it's 30 million doesn't go far. It sounds like a lot. So now let me do my very best to take you through the finances. When we came to you the last time, the impact is outlined in yellow. And so there's the 3.23%. That was the concern, and then 1.03, 1.64. And you can see that came about over 6 years for a total of 9.7%, but that had that bubble right up front. If we pare back the $2 million in year 2, go to this alternative bets bidding system, and get us, we know what we have to get. Then, in the greenish gray, you'll see the impact is spread out over 8 years. You see the impact year 1, 1.17, 1.19, 1.27, 1.34. I'm saying, I'm reading because of the public. 1.31, 1.31, 1.34, and then down to 0.36. So you see how that leveled out each year. However, you're borrowing for 2 extra years, and even though you're $2 million less in the project, there's about another % of cost over the years, but it does even it out. So, Matt and I appreciate the feedback we got the next time. The choices, I believe, are if we do what we presented the last time, you get more done sooner, but you see the impact. If we do 2 million less, we'll get quite a bit done, and the impact is spread, albeit at about 1% more of cost.
I think that's encouraging. Obviously it's expensive. Nobody wants to see their taxes increase, but it's work that has to be done. But this at least takes into account the fact that we understand the impact it has on the community. And I'd rather spread it like this and have less of a dramatic impact than the way we're doing it personally. So, thanks.
So there is an update, and the way I'd like to proceed is for September 11th. These are my words, by the way, down here. So when I start doing heating, ventilating, air conditioning, and roofing, I'm so out of my league. We'll have King and King here, and I think they'll have, within this framework, real numbers and what they really believe we can accomplish. So then that'll prepare you for our coming to you October to ask you to approve, and then we'll be all together to go into the community and explain it. Thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you.
We are to the next participation from the public. So we invite anybody to come to the microphone. Please keep it to 3 minutes if you can. Thank you. Again.
Hello, Jennifer Jones. 2 things. The first thing is I wanted to come today to publicly invite everyone to the first PTO meeting of the year. It will be Wednesday, September 12th in the high school library at 3 o'clock, directly after school. The second thing, I just wanted to bring a concern of mine to the board. And hopefully something can be done. It's a little late this year, but maybe next year between the board and administration. I had a lot of concerns with our guidance office support during the summer, and especially for the support of our rising seniors, who the common application opens August 1st. These kids can start applying to colleges August 1st, but there's not a lot of internal support from the school. We don't have guidance counselors here, we just have the secretary here. So basically, I spent the summer with my daughter navigating this process pretty solo, and now we're getting a lot of feedback because she has started to apply, and we're having some trouble promptly getting transcripts sent to the school and things like that. Naviance, which is the process we're supposed to go through, isn't quite set up yet. won't be set up to the end of September. And I just don't think it's fair to these kids who want to be proactive and apply to these colleges in August to not have that opportunity. So, thank you.
Jen, did you say 3 o'clock on the 12th?
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. So that brings us to the end of our meeting.
I do need executive session.
Yes.
For pending litigation.
And so there can vote.
No vote after, so I'm
So
not
then,
recommending.
there's no recommendation for vote after, so you're welcome to stay, but there's no super need to. But it's of course up to you. So I need a motion to adjourn to executive session. I'll move for pending litigation. Sorry.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
For having me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.